Alright, what's good everybody? It's your boy Akeem and welcome to today's vlog. I am back. I know it's been quite some time. I've missed you guys. I've been doing a lot of work with both college football and fantasy football. And beginning right in mid-month in July, it's time for me to start giving you my previews for college football as well as giving you out my top 20 players, positional players for fantasy football. And for today's vlog, I'm going to talk about fantasy football, starting off my top 20 quarterbacks. For today's video, I'm going to give you numbers 20 to 11. Starting at number 20, I'm going to start with Big Ben Roethlisberger out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he had a decent season overall last year, not too great, but over 3,200 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Good touchdown interception ratio, but for this season he's going to have to play without one of his biggest receivers in Mike Wallace. He is now with the Miami Dolphins. Yes, they still have Heath Miller, but that is a big loss in Mike Wallace. Now the only way he could do well this season is with the improvement, hopefully, from Antonio Brown and even incoming rookie Marcus Wheaton out of Oregon State. Hopefully those two players, especially Antonio Brown, will step up to the plate and replace Mike Wallace. But we will see. And because of the loss of Mike Wallace, I had to bump on Big Ben back at number 20. At number 19, I'm going to go with Arizona's Carson Palmer. I still think he has a decent arm. Good stats overall last season. Over 4,000 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Yes, it was during the garbage time coming towards the end of the game. But let's not forget, people, when it comes to fantasy football, it's all about the points. And yes, he was a little bit inconsistent in the points last season, but he's had a couple of good games last year. And that's why I had to put him at number 18. And he has a good big target in Larry Fitzgerald. He should be that leading receiver this season. At number 18, I'm going to go with Sam Bradford out of the St. Louis Rams. Now, he's going to play without Danny Amendola, but I think they picked up a better replacement in rookie Tavon Austin. I think he's going to be this year's Offensive Rookie of the Year. I have been mentioning it in previous vlogs. I think he's a great talent at wide receiver, and I think they're going to have to give him the ball a lot, especially during open space, and I think he's going to be a good target for Sam Bradford. But I'm still a little shaky overall for Sam Bradford's performance because he doesn't really have that many great weapons at the receiving core overall. Hopefully Tavon Austin will open things up and have him help with better options, and hopefully a good improving season from Brian Quick, a good deep ball threat. At number 17, I'm going to go with Houston's Matt Schaub. Now, I think he's going to be a very dangerous quarterback if one particular receiver steps up opposite of Andre Johnson, and that is DeAndre Hopkins, their first-round selection from Clemson. And he reminds me a lot of Roddy White. If he does well and shows that he is that guy opposite of Andre Johnson, I think that Matt Schaub could be due for a spectacular season, especially having a good running back behind him and Arian Foster. I think this is going to be a dangerous selection. At number 16, I'm going to go with Joe Flacco out of the Baltimore Ravens. He won this Super Bowl this past season and signed a big-time contract. I honestly believe that he is not worth $20 million a year. That shows that he's an elite quarterback, and that's kind of funny because he has never, not once, passed for over 30 touchdowns in one season. Yes, he won a Super Bowl, and he is due for a good contract. I think at most $15 million at most. But to compare him with Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Peyton Manning, I think that's a little bit over the radar with that one. But I still think he can have a decent season. But he had a big loss in Anquan Bolden, who is now with the San Francisco 49ers. So he's going to keep an eye out for Torrey Smith, and in the middle, and Dennis Pitta, the tight end. I don't think he has too many great options. So he's going to have to give the ball a lot to Ray Rice, who I think he could be due for a lot of great points in fantasy football at the running back position. At number 15, I'm going to go with Eli Manning out of the New York Giants. I think with the addition of Hakeem Nicks, if he stays healthy, him and Victor Cruz, that would definitely boost up Eli Manning's statistics this upcoming season. That's why I had to put him at number 15, because with Hakeem Nicks coming back from an injury, him along with signing Victor Cruz to a 5-year deal, I think that could be a great wide receiver duo and tandem in the National Football League, and under the radar wide receiver duo, especially especially with Hakeem Nicks coming back from injury, and I think that will open up more stats for Eli Manning. At number 14, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay's Josh Freeman. I think he had a decent season overall last season, 27 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. The problem with Josh Freeman is that he's very inconsistent week after week. He'll have a big game and then he'll have a bad game. Sometimes even during the games he's inconsistent. He'll start off great but end kind of bad. He needs to do a lot more improvement, especially in protecting the football. He needs to lower that interception ratio. 17 interceptions, that's a lot of picks, and I think he needs to improve a lot this season. I think with Vincent Jackson being that leading target, and plus he has a good running back in Doug Martin behind him who he could dump the ball out of the backfield. I think he has a good weapons overall, plus Mike Williams. I think he could be due for a good season. He just needs to make better decisions in passing the football and being more consistent in throwing the football. I think he could be a great quarterback in the National Football League. Just need to be more mature and make smarter decisions overall. At number 13, I think this is a solid player and a good leader for the Cincinnati Bengals team, Andy Dalton. I like him a lot. He had 4 rushing touchdowns last season, so he could give you some yardage on the ground and even give you some rushing touchdowns. Don't forget, rushing touchdowns is 6 points in fantasy football play. He also threw for over 3,600 yards, 27 touchdown passes, and 16 interceptions. I think he needs to lower that interception mark, but I think he's going to improve this season. I think he's a great quarterback. He was actually my backup quarterback to Eli Manning, and then eventually I had to put Dalton as my starting quarterback. I think he's a solid player overall, and I really think everybody needs to look out for the Cincinnati Bengals team. This is a young and hungry team. I think with just a little bit more maturity, and I think they have a great leader in Andy Dalton. They could do something in Rec House in the National Football League. At number 12, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. He had a down year last season, 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, but he did pass for over 4,900 yards thanks to All-Pro Calvin Johnson. He had a big year last season, a record-breaking year at the wide receiver position, and that's the main, and he's the only reason why Matt Stafford did so well in throwing the football. As talking about yardage, but 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. He needs to do a lot better this season. But they have a new addition in Reggie Bush coming out of free agency from the Miami Dolphins. I think he's a great addition at running back, and he would definitely be a good receiver, valuable receiver for Matthew Stafford. So that's why I had to put him at number 12. And rounding up my top 10 and top 20 from numbers 20 through 11. At number 11, I'm going to go with Seattle's Russell Wilson. I think he could be a top 10 quarterback. But the only issue that I'm having with him, I'm a little bit concerned that he might have a sophomore slump. I think some people are concerned that he was a fluke last season with his performance. 26 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, over 3,100 yards passing, and he also ran the ball effectively, 489 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns on the ground. He's a great leader this past season as a rookie, but I'm a little bit concerned that he might have a sophomore slump this upcoming season. That's why I had to put him at number 11, but we will see. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys is tomorrow, where I will round up my top 20 quarterback players with my top 10. Catch you guys then. Thank you for watching today's vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.